Millennium Daytime Bulletin. I'm Shweta Simar from New Delhi and you're watching Millennium News Channel 24. Today I'm bringing you the latest updates from around the world. Let's begin with today's top headlines. Denmark boosts Greenland defense after Trump repeats desire for US control. Christians protest in Syrian capital after burning of Christmas tree. Russian ship under US sanctions sinks after engine room blast. Spacecraft attempt closest ever approach to Sun. Russia sentences US citizen to 15 years in prison for espionage. Trump vows to direct Department of Justice to pursue death penalty in wake of Biden's clemencies. China reading record $14 billion special bonds in 2025 to revive its economy. US market surge while Brazil's Bovespa stumbles. ICC announced Champions Trophy 2025 fixtures. Shohei Ohtani wins third AP Male Athlete of the Year award, tying Michael Jordan for one shy of record. Now let's look at the details. The Danish government has announced a huge boost in defense spending for Greenland hours after US President-elect Donald Trump repeated his desire to purchase the Arctic territory. Danish Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said that the package was a double-digit billion amount in krone, or at least 1.5 billion. He described the timing of the announcement as an irony of fate. On Monday, Trump said ownership and control of the huge island was an absolute necessity for the US. Greenland, an autonomous Danish territory, is home to a large US space facilities and is strategically important for the US. Lying on its shortest route to Europe, it has major minerals and oil reserves. Poulsen said the package would allow for the purchase of 2 new inspection ships, 2 new long-range drones and 2 extra dog sled teams. It would also include funding for increased staffing at Arctic Command in the capital Nuuk, at an upgrade for one of Ireland's 3 main civilian airports to handle F-35 supersonic fighter aircraft. We have not invested enough in the Arctic for many years. Now we are planning for a stronger presence, he said. The defense minister did not give the exact figure for the package, but the Danish media estimated it would be around 12 to 15 billion krone. The announcement came a day after Trump said on his social media platforms, Truth Social, that for purposes of national security and freedom throughout the world, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is absolute necessary. Greenland's Prime Minister Mute Gade responded to Trump's comment saying we are not for sale, but he added that Greenlanders should continue to be open for cooperation and trade, especially with their neighbors. Analysts say that the plan has been under discussion for a long time and should not be seen as a direct response to Trump's comments. Until now, Denmark has been very slow to expand its military capacity in Greenland. They say, but the country is not able to protect waters around the territory against encroachment by China and Russia. Then US demands for greater control and are likely to grow. Trump's original suggestion in 2019 that the US acquire Greenland, which is the world's largest island, led to a similarly sharp rebuke from leaders there. At the time, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen described the idea as absurd, leading Trump to cancel a state trip to the country. He's not the first US president to suggest buying Greenland. The idea was first mooted during the 1860 under the presidency of Andrew Johnson. Protests erupted in the Christian neighborhood of Syrian capital Damascus after Christmas tree was set on fire in another town by unidentified men on Monday evening. A video showing men setting fire to a publicly displayed Christmas tree in the Christian majority town of Sukhablabia near the city of Hama emerged online, prompting the protest. It's unclear who set the tree on fire, but a video surfaced of a rebel standing next to Christian priest vowing to punish the perpetrators. Next morning, you will see the tree completely resorted, the unidentified rebel told a protesting group next to the burned Christmas tree. The incident came 3 weeks since opposition rebels led a successful campaign to topple President Bashar al-Assad. Syria's Christmas now join the Lebanon and Palestinian territories celebrating Christmas amid great uncertainty and fear in the region. The protesters in the capital marched towards church to demand the better protection for Christians in the country. George, a 24-year-old Catholic resident of Damascus who chose to give only his first name to speak freely, told CNN that when Islamist rebels swept through Syria's second largest city in an operation that would eventually culminate in an ouster of the brutal Assad regime, Christians were given assurance that their churches and property would remain protected. Under Assad, Christians were allowed to celebrate their holidays and practice their rituals, but like all Syrians faced tyrannical limitations on freedom of speech and political activity. A Russian cargo ship, Ursa Major, has sunk in the Mediterranean between Spain and Algeria after an explosion in the engine room. Russia's foreign ministry has confirmed. It said 14 members of the crew had been rescued and taken to the Spanish port of Cartagena, but that the 2 others were missing. Ursa Major left port in the St. Petersburg 12 days ago, according to the Russian news agency Interfax. The ship owner said it was on its way to Vladivostok in Russia's Far East, carrying 2 cranes for the port weighing 380 tons apiece, although the destination could not be confirmed independently before Ursa Major sank. Spain's Salvamento Maritime Rescue Agency said 14 people were found on a lifeboat and taken safely to Spain, and a Russian warship then arrived in the area to take charge of the rescue operation. Ursa Major was in the same area of the Mediterranean as another sanctioned Russian ship, Sparta, when it ran into trouble, and the 2 ships had been spotted heading towards the English Channel last week, reportedly under escort. Earlier this month, Ukrainian military agency reported that the Sparta was heading to Russia's naval base on the Syrian coast of Tartus to move military equipment out of Syria after the downfall of Bashar al-Assad. A Kremlin official said on Monday that Russia was in contact with Syria's new rulers on the future of its 2 military facilities at both diplomatic and military levels. Ursa Major's owner, Obra Logistica, has been heavily involved in transporting cargoes to Tartus, although Sparta's reported destination on Tuesday was Port Said in Egypt. Marine Transport Monitoring website LSEG told the BBC that the Ursa Major's automatic ID system showed the destination since 11 December had been Vladivostok, and the last call at the port of Tartus had been in July. It eventually sank about 12 of the GMT on Tuesday. Ursa Major was built in 2009 and placed under sanction after Russia's full-scale invasion in Ukraine in 2022. Before, the ship owner's role was to delivering cargoes to the Russian military. Logistica said the cargo ship, which is described as the flagship of its fleet, was carrying 45-ton and as well as the large cranes of the port in the Vladivostok region of Russia. NASA's spacecraft is attempting to make history with the closest ever approach to the sun. The Parker Solar Probe is plunging into our star's outer atmosphere, enduring brutal temperatures temperature and extreme radiations. It is out of communication for several days during this burning hot flyby, and scientists will be waiting for a signal expected at 5 o'clock GMT on 28 December to see if it has survived. The hope is the probe could help us to better understand how the sun works. Parker Solar Probe launched in 2018 heading to the center of our solar system. It has already swept past the sun 21 times, getting even nearer every time, but the Christmas Eve visit is record-breaking. As it closest approach, the probe is 3.8 million miles, that is 6.2 million kilometers, from our star surface. This might not sound that close, but NASA's Nicola Fox put it into perspective. We are 93 million times away from sun. So if I put the sun around the earth 1 meter apart, Parker Solar Probe is 4 centimeters from the sun, so that's close. The probe will have to endure temperature of 1400 Celsius and radiation that could frazzle the onboard electronics. It is protected by a 11.5 centimeter, that is 4.5 inches thick carbon composite shield, but the spacecraft tactic is to get in and out fast. In fact, it will be moving faster than any human-made object, hurtling at 430,000 mph. The equivalent of flying from London to New York is less than 30 seconds. Parker's speed comes from the immense gravitational pull it feels as it falls towards the sun. A Moscow court has on Tuesday sentenced a US citizen to 15 years in prison for espionage. According to the state-run news agency RIA Novosti, the Gene Spector, who was born in Russia but later moved to the United States and received citizenship, had previously been sentenced to 4 years in prison in Russia for acting as an intermediary in bribe. Russian state media said. Independent Russian outlet Media Zona, who had a journalist inside the courtroom, reported that Spector was sentenced to 13 years in a maximum security penal colony on espionage charges. His previous charge for bribery was added to this term, meaning he was handed down a 15-year sentence. It reported, adding that Spector was also fined 14 rubles, that is around $140,000, in response to the espionage. In 2020, Spector pled guilty to mediating bribes on Anastasia, a previous aide to former Russian Deputy Prime Minister Arkady Dvoshvik. State news agency TASS reported Spector was the chairperson of the board of directors of the Medopolmy Group, specializing in the cancer drugs, according to TASS. A US official at the American Embassy in Moscow told CNN in August 2023 when Spector was charged with espionage, they believed the US citizen was already in jail, added they had no information on a new charge. President-elect Donald Trump vowed Tuesday to direct his Department of Justice to pursue death penalty in the wake of President Biden's clemency of nearly every federal death row inmate. As soon as I'm inaugurated, I will direct the Justice Department to vigorously pursue the death penalties to protect American families and children from violent rapists, murderers, and monsters. Trump said on Truth Social, "We will be a nation of law and order again." Trump's remark came just a day after Biden officially announced he has commuted sentences of 37 out of 40 prisoners on federal death row, reclassifying their sentences from execution to life in prison. The move, which has drawn mixed reaction, leaves only 3 hard cases behind, that of 2 notorious mass shooters who carried out killing in a church and synagogue, and one of the brothers responsible for the Boston Marathon bombing. Some of the prisoners guaranteed clemency have been on death row for more than a decade, with their crimes including the murder of other prisoners and prison guards. Biden, in a statement, said he was commuting the sentences in part because he expected Trump's incoming administration to remove a moratorium placed on federal executions under Biden's White House, with the exception of those involving terrorism and hate-fueled murders. Make no mistake, I condemn these murders, grieve for the victims of the despicable acts and ache for all the families who have suffered unimaginable and irreparable loss, Biden said. Chinese authorities have agreed to issue 3 trillion yuan, that is $411 billion worth of special treasury bonds next year. 2 times sources said, which would be the highest on record, and Beijing's ramp up fiscal stimulus to revive a faltering economy. The plan for 2025 sovereign debt issuance would be a sharp increase from this year's 1 trillion yuan and comes as Beijing moves to soften the blow from an expected increase in US tariffs on Chinese imports when Donald Trump takes office in January. The proceeds will be targeted at boosting consumption via subsidy programs, equipment upgrades by businesses, and funding investment in innovation-driven advanced sectors. Among other initiatives, said the sources who have the knowledge of the discussions declined to be identified due to sensitivity of the matter. The State Council Information Office, which handles media queries on behalf of the government, the Finance Ministry, and the National Development and Reform Commission, that is NDRC, did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for comment. China's 10-year and 30-year Treasury yield rose to 1 basis point and 2 basis points respectively after the news. The planned special treasury bond issuance next year would be the largest on record and underscores Beijing's willingness to go even deeper into debt to counter deflationary forces in the world's second largest economy. The issuance exceeded market expectations, said Tommy Zai, head of the Asia Macro Research at OCBC Bank. Furthermore, as the central government is the only entity with the meaningful capacity of additional leverage, any bond issuance at the current and central level is perceived as a positive development, liking to provide the incremental support for growth. China does not generally include ultra-long special bonds in annual budget plans, as it sees the instruments as an extraordinary measure to raise proceeds for specific projects or policy goals as needed. Global markets saw mixed trends today, with a notable surge in US indices leading the charge. The Dow climbed 390 points, gaining 0.91%, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq rallied by 1.10% and 1.35% respectively. The strong performance reflects growing optimism around the US economy, fueled by robust economic data and easing inflationary concerns. The Russell 2000 also posed a solid gain of 1.0%, indicating a broad rally across large and small cap stocks. Meanwhile, the VIX, a measure of market volatility, edged up slightly by 2.50%, suggesting caution hedging amid the bullish trend. Canada's market also reflected the positive momentum, with the S&P TSX Composite advancing 0.4% and the S&P TSX 60 up to 0.39%. The uptick aligns with strength in North American equities, likely supported by stable commodity prices and improved investor sentiment. In contrast, Brazil's Bovespa index suffered a steep decline of 1.09%, losing over 1,300 points. The sharp drop highlights ongoing political and economic challenges, and investors remain wary of fiscal uncertainties and slower growth prospects. Chile's IPSA and Mexico's IPC painted a more stable picture, with Chile's rising 0.22% and Mexico's dipping marginally by 0.13%. Today's market movement and also, it underscores a divergence between North and South America, while US and Canadian markets thrive on optimism. Brazil faces significant headwinds. Investors are closely watching the developments in these regions, assess future opportunities and risk as 2024 draws to a close. Commodity market experienced a positive shift today, with gains across energy, metals and agricultural products. In the energy sector, WTI crude oil rose by 1.14%, closing at $70.03, while Brent crude oil followed with a 1.06% increase, settling at $73 by 09. The upward movement reflects stronger global demands signal and optimism surrounding potential supply cuts from OPEC plus countries, which could stabilize prices in near term. Natural gas made a striking comeback, surging 7.17% to $3.92. The sharp rise in likely also contributed and is attributed to colder weather forecast and increased heating demand, coupled with concerns over inventory levels as also the winter intensifying makes the situation worse, with also precious metal joined by the rally, with gold inching up 0.18% to $2,000, maintaining its status as a steady, safe haven asset. Silver outperformed slightly, gaining 0.32% to trade at $30.29, driven by industrial demand and with correlations in the energy prices. In the agricultural market, soya beans posted a modest increase of 0.44%, trading at $9.80. The consistent rise in signals stable demand from global markets, particularly in the regions with high agricultural import requirements. The broad-based rally in commodities highlight renewed confidence in global growth prospect and the resilience of demand in key sectors. However, investors will remain vigilant about potential macroeconomic risks such as shift in monetary policy and geopolitical tensions, which could influence market directions in the coming week. We'll be right back after a short break. I'm Shweta Simar from New Delhi. Keep watching Millennium Daytime Bulletin. Welcome back after the break. I'm Shweta Simar from New Delhi and you're watching Millennium Daytime Bulletin. India will face Pakistan in Dubai on 23rd February as the International Cricket Council released the Champions Trophy fixtures on Tuesday. The 8-team tournament will be held in a host country, Pakistan, and neutral venue, Dubai, for the 19th February to the 9th March. Defending champions Pakistan and India were drawn alongside New Zealand and Bangladesh in Group A, while England will also face Australia, South Africa and Australia in the Afghanistan in Group B. The tournament opener will see Pakistan face New Zealand in Karachi on 19 February, while India takes on Bangladesh in Dubai the following day. The Pakistan Cricket Board picked Dubai as a neutral venue after India refused to travel to Pakistan because of the ongoing political tensions between the countries. As a result, India 3 group fixtures and the first semi-final on 4th March will be played in the United Arab Emirates. The final, scheduled to be held in Lahore on 9 March, will also move to Dubai if India qualify for the title decider. Meanwhile, England will begin with Champions Trophy campaign against Australia in Lahore on 22 February before facing Afghanistan on 26 February and South Africa on 1 March. The 50 overs Champion Trophy will be first time Pakistan is hosting a global event since 1996. Pakistan will also host the Women's T20 World Cup in 2028 when the neutral venue arrangements will apply. Pakistan will also play at a neutral venue in any event hosted by India until 2027. As per the agreement between the Board of Control for Cricket, PCB and ICC, India and Pakistan have not met outside of men's major tournaments since 2013 and India have not played in Pakistan since 2008. The Japanese superstar caps 2024 by winning the Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year for the third time. Trying him with the basketball great Michael Jordan, he trails only 4 times winner Lance Armstrong, Tiger Woods, and LeBron James. I'm very honored, Otani said through translators Matt Hidaka in an exclusive interview with the AP. Obviously, all the hard work has paid off. Maybe next year I'll get the award again. In balloting by 74 spots, journalist from the AP and its member, Otani received 48 points. He previously won the award in 2023 and 2022 when he was the Angels. Growing up in Japan, I did follow Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, he said. I would see their accolades and how they were successful in the United States. The AP honor has been given out since 1931. Golfer Babe Dickerson also won the 6 times the most of the man and woman. Swimmer Leon Marchand of the France, who won the 4 gold medals at the Paris Olympics, was second with 10 votes in balloting announced on Monday. Golfer Scottie Scheffler, whose victories these years included the Master and all in the Olympic gold medal, was third with 9. The AP Female Athlete of the Year will be announced on Tuesday, moving from the Belgrade Los Angeles to the powerhouse Los Angeles Dodgers. Otani won his 3rd Most Valuable Player award and 1st in National League, led to the new team of the 8th World Series championship, and created Major League Baseball's 50-50 club by hitting 54 home runs and stealing 59 bases. Otani signed then record $700 million 10 years contract with the Dodgers in December 2023. Already a two-way superstar, he embellished his reputation even further despite not pitching all seasons while he rehabilitated from a second major right elbow surgery he had in September 2023. Otani went wild on offense, making every at-bat a must-see moment. The 6'4" designated hitter batted a career-high 310 while easily surpassing his previous career high in home runs and stolen bases. In September, he reached a previously unheard of 50-50 mark in a performance from the A's. Against the Miami Marlins in Florida, Otani went 6 for 6 with 3 homers, 10 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and 17 total bases. It wouldn't shock me if he went 60-60 and win 20 a year from now. Brad Oymas, who managed the Angels in 2019 during Otani's second season in Anaheim, said recently the guy is greatest athlete to ever play in the sports of baseball, and there is no one who stand close to him. I kind of wanted to get over that bar, he said. I was pleasantly surprised I was able to pass that record. That's all for now. Thank you for tuning in. Stay with us for more updates. Log in and stay updated with the latest news on our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Millennium News 24. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Millennium News 24. You can also watch us on Android and iOS devices, as well as on Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and all smart TV platforms. Enjoy entertainment and latest news with us. Download the Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA for Android and Millennium News on Google. Thank you for watching and being part of Millennium News channel.